Newsroom@wmfd.com.
You're on vacation next week?
Casey, can you give us a,
Do next week.
till DRM gets here? Thank
You
you.
just get back from vacation?
Yeah, I take it.
Yeah, I guess we could do other.
If I lose it, they won't pay me for it, so.
I just blew it.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Use it or lose it. Morning, Richland County, 9:30 AM on Tuesday, December 12th. 10 days to Christmas. I'm Richland County Commissioner Cliff Mears, joined by fellow commissioners Tony Vero, Darrell Banks. Clerk Stacy Crawler, County Administrator Andrew Kell, Mr. Morgan Stern is here, as is Carl. Richland. Online, we have Al.
Yes.
Lee Passive, who is Director, Destination
President.
President. Destination. Here right now, but right now, we will start with our agenda items before we move into the sequence that was actually published. But for the moment, could I have a motion to certify the record of proceedings for December 5th?
So move. Second.
Thanks.
Yes.
Mr. Barrow.
Yes.
A motion to approve requisitions.
So move.
Second.
For Mears,
Yes.
for Banks. Mr. Barrow,
Yes.
Could I have a motion to approve, to accept two parcels in the right of way for the road bridge project?
Yes. Second.
they're both gifts. Commissioner Mears. Mr. Banks,
Yes.
Mr. Barrow.
Yes.
Well, last Thursday, we had an auction for the lease for the Day Spring Farm. Today, we would like to approve that agreement. So could I have a motion to approve that lease?
So move. Second.
Mr. Mears,
Yes.
Mr. Banks.
Yes.
Mr. Barrow.
Yes.
As a reminder, that was auction off at $255 an acre. This time, I'd like to take a recess, awaiting others to join us. It is 9:40 a.m. The Richland County Board of Commissioners is back in session. We're joined with Lee Tassif, the president of Destination Manfield, who is the first order of business at this time. Lee, I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Okay. This is my annual year-end presentation to you all to tell you how we did. But I always have to preface that with a disclaimer on it that just because we had a good year didn't mean we were the only ones that had a good year. If we are productive and successful at what we do, then everybody we partner with and those around us we affect have a good year as well. Because everything we create, we share. We don't keep it and just use it for ourselves. If we feature attractions, then we give them whatever assets that we've created. So the object is that everybody gets better at what they do. So nothing we do is in a vacuum. And if I interchange us in the industry, I kind of do that without thinking. All right. You've got the packet in front of you. Yeah, it's a fun picture of incarceration. That's actually part of a larger a video shoot as well, which is some awesome footage. And again, you've got a world-class event a few miles up the road that we're fortunate enough to have here because OSR is what it is. And that thing was almost organic in how it was created. And it's a cool thing that it is here. But to start off with, as always, impact of tourism industry is $405 million, 11.6 generated in local taxes for services for everybody that lives here. That adds up about $562 less in taxes per household paid. And also tourism employs over 5. Doesn't just support the jobs, it actually employs them. And the cool part about it is that all that money came from somewhere else, kept here, attracted here and kept here. Everything we do is also for the benefit of the residents, not just hotels and restaurants and attractions. They're just a conduit for the money to come in. It always makes its way into the four corners of the county. Let's get to the speed dating version of what we did last year to keep moving. Asset development, we shot 9 videos using 161 models at 19 locations, generated over 732 photos, ran 8 digital campaigns. A 9th one is running now. Published 2 storytelling campaigns in partnership with Tourism Ohio, B&O Bike Trail and Buckeye Imagination Museum. Partnered with Tourism Ohio also for 8 statewide social media campaigns. Partnered with Downtown Mansfield Inc. to beautify and landscape the Brickyard, as all those people were invited in for Final Fridays and other events. Hosted our first annual meeting in 4 years, which was a fun blowout. We got to reintroduce ourselves to the community because we hadn't done one since pre-COVID. Hired our first full-time staff person in 16 years. We were always very stable, veteran crew, and then COVID blew that up, and this is the first time we put somebody back. We put Andy in red on a wall as public art for people to take pictures. We installed a brochure box out front of our office. And now when we're not there, people can still grab visitor guides. Fully integrated community brand into all marketing. Yet we've been talking about branding for such a long time. You think we're already there, but everything is like you're working a year ahead. So this was the first time that 100% of what we did was built from the brand up. We increased the use of our visitor intelligence data, which allows us to look not just where people are coming from, but where's better places to actually spend our ad dollars. And then also, by the way, supposed to be a somewhat soft year next year for tourism. And my nod and a wink is to everybody who's not a boomer, because the boomers are going to be carrying the travel economy for the next year. All the research from all the PhDs tells us that. So you can't, kick boomers to the side. Boomers still rule when it comes to travel spending.
My sisters may disagree with you on their position on boomers, by the way.
So be it. They can argue with the economists and leave me out of it. I am just the messenger on that one. Let's start with stuff we did. The 8 videos. We ran an 8-month-long campaign with 8 different attractions. Everything we utilize: videos, blogs, emails, social media campaigns, print ads. Partnered with Tourism Ohio. We did do some crossover with, for instance, Buckeye Imagination Museum, Geofence, some children's museums. Some of those were in cities that our research told us was probably pretty fertile for us to put advertising in. So it was using what we were learning along with their needs. Grand total is we had over 6.6 million impressions, over 54,500 click-throughs to our site. Top post actually social media was Lego's exhibit. It exceeded over 145,500 people. Website page. This is one of the things I wanted to show you. You've got examples of ads and stuff that we did that you'll find throughout the packet. But this page in particular, going with the graph on it. If we don't run like this, AG.
Yep.
Just wanted to be, we've always known this stuff internally, but we're getting better at demonstrating it to you. We run campaigns, they get noticed. If we don't run campaigns, look at the bottom of that chart, you see a lot of squiggly lines overlapping each other. That's the congestion, that's the traffic jam, that's the static, the white noise. You're not getting noticed. So when you run campaigns, you're intentionally going above and beyond that. So you're looking at the life cycle of some of the campaigns we ran. Bottom line is that's why you market, that's why you invest in it, so that it causes that attention, you rise above the fray. If you're not doing that, you're just lost in the clutter.
So this represents clicks on the website, right?
Because it's back. And not, some of these are just, some of this is fed by a digital campaign. It's also social media that leads to clicks that comes back, blogs. It's a number of things that went into this. What did we do to prep for next year? We shot in partnership with DRM. We shot video at Kingwood all season long. It's going to end with Christmas at Kingwood. That'll get edited down into multiple use videos for next year. We shot new B&O. We added new B&O bike trail footage. We're all involved in solar eclipse prep, which you all know. We've got a site, you've got a page. The chamber's got a page. If everybody doesn't know about it by the time we get there, I don't know how that's possible. The second phase of launching the Buckeye Imagination Museum last year was the first phase for the lower level. This coming year is all about the upper level with the kids. And if you've been there for adult night stuff, I would have played with my kids up there. They'd have been trying to beat dad as much as possible up there. And it's fun. It's been fun for adults as well. We're learning to use AI operations a little more efficient. We're going to increase visitor guide distribution inside the county. Shawshank 30. It's the 30th anniversary. Unfortunately, the community never got to take its true victory lap after the 25th. COVID wiped it out. 19 was the last record-setting year we had, and then it was all gone. So that whole wave that we were planning on capitalizing on disappeared. So now we're back for the 30th. It's kind of wild that it's like it's gone by in the balloon. We're also studying World Heritage sites in Ohio. This is a pretty good for these sites, historic sites in Ohio. You've got sites like Grand Canyon. This is an organization that looks at historically significant, really ancient case that's historic to the folks who lived here centuries ago. It's amazing what they created. Well, there's 3 of these sites in Ohio. After a number of years, they finally got their designation. What it means is now you've got people who are going to be interested, who travel to these sites all over the world, coming to 3 sites within Ohio. The closest one we have is in Newark, the mounds down there. Why we're paying attention to it is there's going to be some crossover with the profile of people who are interested in those sites with things we have up here. So at some point in time, we'll run some campaigns that'll get in the way of those eyeballs. Similar to what we did back with the Republican National Convention in 2016. We pitched some Shawshank ads from that was us cutting our teeth on that. We'll figure out some way to get involved and kind of draft off of the popularity of those sites. Along the way, we picked up some awards. All the things we submitted were all built with the new. We're really proud of the business in its category. That was 3 years in the making. We thought we should have won before, but hey, we'll take it. One of the cool things is we put in a number of marketing campaigns up for awards. In that category, we were 4 out of 5 finalists. We shut out virtually everybody else except for one who was putting a submission in that category. I like that. That was kind of fun. That means what we did was noticed. It worked internally, but it's neat that it got noticed. Let's talk a little bit about branding. You've got some slides there with brand adoption. Cover of the community guide for the chamber, our visitor guide. You've got samples of how the Renaissance is using it. You've got the cover of the housing study that went all in. The city of Mansfield totally redesigned the website. You've got a couple examples of how cities have integrated the video or the logo in it. Let's give you an idea that it's starting to make its way into the community. It takes time. It'll seem like it's overnight, but it's just kind of gradually happening. So there's a couple of slides that show you how that's happening. Shot a lot of new video footage this year for video coming out later. I guess the one being debuted today is kind of a teaser, but also a fantastic example of the county wanted to do something with the brand, devoted to the brand that promotes awareness to the area and makes everything look good. And this is just another way of adapting to the brand and utilizing it for positive purposes.
So this was, we've discussed this, so we don't need to belabor this, but this was sort of the county's way of fully getting into the branding. I know that obviously Destination Mansfield had spent a lot of money in the branding. We did contribute a little bit, but the chamber, this was, and we know the city set aside a pretty substantial amount of money for the branding as well. So this is our way to participate in the branding. This will be the first of 3 videos, and we'll talk about this later, but like I always said, if you see someone who does it well, see if you can, we won't say steal in a political office. We'll say emulate up a degree. So this is our way of doing that. It's a branding teaser video. We'll have Jay come up at 10, and then Lee and I will get in the ring and fight over who's going to release the larger branding video come March or April. Right, Sandy? That remains a debate, doesn't it?
Sandy's like, I'll just sit back here and you guys do that.
There's a big debate over
Out of it.
thought of the idea. So, but then we'll also have our state of the county in February, which will be more internal that we'll release.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, and we don't want to steal 10 o'clock thunder here, but.
But yeah, the larger aspect of the video that'll be shown is that you guys and other people can do the same thing, jump in, utilize the brand to promote the area. So it's all cohesive. It'll eventually all be linked together because a lot of the same elements are in it, which is fantastic. A lot of the footage shot, we can use, Chamber can use, RCDG can use, obviously you're using it, DMI can use it, city can use it. So very little of it can go to waste. It'll be used for a lot of different things or other projects that we may be talking about. Just like we've captured assets and developed them over the years, and then the next year we put them to use. Same thing with branding elements. There'll become a time here in the near future where it's time to put the money into the marketing of it, which is the payoff, not just creating it and go, that's really nice. What did you do with it? So that's got to happen next. Last thing I wanted to share with you is the campaign that's running now. This is a year in the making. We created a theme for holiday Christmas events called Tinseltowns. It was built off of the brand story. So again, it's developed from the brand itself. So nostalgic, you can see the first page of it, the actual paragraph of the story. So it does have connections back to the actual brand story. The next page is kind of fun. It's like, this is how we develop stuff sometimes. The cartoon drawing, the stick figures that you see on the left of the next page. We came up with the idea that, child's wonderment, looking through a snow globe, things that they want to do and have that nostalgic feel. And then one of us drew a stick figure of the kid actually holding it. And then the whole thing just says Christmas, do it. That's where it started. Then you see the progression of the logos, how we use them. And then the final page is one of the actual sets of ads that are running. So we went literally from a stick drawing on our whiteboard that's still there, by the way, because kick out of it. We started this a year ago. It's running now. The campaign runs only an hour outside of the area. The first 30 miles are families and grandparents. The next 30 miles is mostly families. We'll see how we did once we finish it. But the idea was use the brand, capture that nostalgic essence of what this area has already, and then put it out there. One of our best posts for December happenings for this month which is a lot of things holiday, Christmas related. So far, that reach is almost 50,000 shared over 1,800 times. So Christmas stuff resonates. We decided to figure out, hey, let's find a way to capitalize on it and launch a new niche brand for the area. So again, nothing goes to waste. We just figure out new ways to use it. And at the end, tourism is a shared public good. It's not for the benefit of us. It's not for the benefit of, again, hotels and restaurants and attractions. It's for the benefit of the residents because all the money makes its way through in some form, whether you're working in the industry, you're somebody receiving money from somebody who works in the industry, or it's through taxes generated by spending, but it all benefits everybody. So thank you for the time. Thank you as always for your support and encouragement of what we do to help make the community better in the long run. You know us, we have fun doing what we do. And that makes it all the much better when we finally look back for now before we even do an annual report. It's like, did we get anything done? Because we ran so far, so fast. Once we get past January, we just don't think we do. And it's kind of neat to sit down and go, With that, I'll entertain any questions.
You mentioned at the beginning, 5,000 people in Richland County that work in travel, tourism, hospitality.
Mhm.
5,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
The next study we'll know about 8 months from now how this year was. It happens every couple of years.
Well, I know a little bit about the tourism, hospitality, and I know that Mansfield destination is well thought of all over Ohio. Job that your staff, Lee and your staff, you got a great staff, and the job you've done for decades, very much appreciated by us and by the taxpayers, because incarceration alone, I think the figure was $562 you saved us in taxes, or you had people from outside Richland County paying taxes.
I mean, you're getting a tattoo next year.
Think about it.
Yep. Not long, right?
One of the best parts when you think of OSR is movie was shot 30 years ago this year, and that helped save it from getting torn down. And you had the preservation group with Virginia and Dan and those guys that stepped in to save it. Well, less than 30 years later, it's internationally known. It helps drive things. It cuts through the clutter. It's the one thing we're known for that you can't deny it. It's there and it's an instant conversation starter. And because they were good at what they did, you had a group that said, this is a great idea for a concert. Let's do it here. And you could only have a heavy metal, hard rock tattoo fest at a place like the Reformatory. Those jobs are not exportable. You either have those attractions here or you don't. Some people can create them and create their own in other places, but the things we have here are, you can't duplicate them. When they break through.
When I was doing receptive tourism, motor coaches would come to town and we would take them to different things. 95% of the business related to the Shawshank. But once they seen Shawshank, they wanted to see something else. We take them to Kingwood, the Bible Museum, and Almore Farm. So it all came from 95% of it was feed up by Shawshank.
And notice the campaigns we ran, none of them last year for OSR. It can succeed all on its own. This next coming year will all be all about Shawshank OSR. So they're cycling back up. You saw a picture of the billboards. We paid for those for OSR to put them up on their billboards on 30 and 71. And then you're getting a sneak peek at the cover of the visitor guide. All the ads will be coordinated. They'll be linked together. A lot of stuff we do, it'll all be, this is another year of Shawshank. Then we'll go back and hit other themes.
Can I hit you with a question?
Sure.
I don't know if I'm gonna throw a bone to the Richland Source. Good article on the burial mound yesterday, but this burial mound's located on school property in Ontario. I don't know if you read the article.
I did. Sound like a surprise.
But you mentioned, these historical sites. Is that something that could be investigated as something that people may come in and want to see?
We'll find out. I would think yes, but I haven't dug into it, haven't had time to really dig into it. And what are they going to do with it? You're going to be staked off, cordoned off? Will it be something that's out there that they will allow to be publicly promoted? Yeah, then you can think to it. We'll see.
And you mentioned historical sites, or is that something that is in the future for tourism? It always has been part of tourism, but is that going to be a focus for the future?
Did one of. We're multifaceted, so this is just one thing to take advantage of. We went to a couple of seminars with the Travel Association where they talked about the profiles built of the people who are interested in these things. And yeah, there's some crossover in cultural and historical stuff that we can take advantage of. So if they're looking for that, I mean, think about it. One of the lines in the movie is you've come this far, maybe when to come a little further, you can just write the ad now and just say, hey, if you've gone this far and you've traveled across the world to come here or different parts of the country, you're not staying put. And since there's 3 sites, they'll be traveling throughout Ohio. They're mobile anyway. So we got nothing to lose to take a shot at it.
Carl?
Just comment and then a question. Lee, thank you for pointing out that on behalf of Gen Con, that historical buildings can be saved and be put to a great usage.
Did I say that?
Yeah, yeah. Tony needs to hear that more often. So thank you, on behalf of Gen Con, for pointing that out today. Since you're talking about 30th anniversary, any announcements yet on who may be coming in terms of the cast? Are you going to have another thoughts up on stage with?
There'll be some elements that are similar. No, I can't tell you who we've secured yet because we're not done. So when there's more, go to ShawshankTrail.com.
You can't or you won't.
Won't.
There's a difference.
Well, I won't. Not gonna.
You say you're not bound by any laws that I know that, you know.
It's not like you're
No, but
recorded.
pardon?
It's not like you're being recorded.
No, not at all. So no, can't yet.
I love it when you come in late because it's always good news. It's always encouraging news.
job.
It's good and it's gonna get better. Always leaves me with a good feeling. So
Thanks.
love it when you come out here. Al, did you have any questions?
No, thank you.
We lost them.
Okay. Thank you, Lee.
Don't move.
Oh, okay,
And Sandy, can you come up?
go to the back now.
Oh, no.
Up to the front page.
Let's talk about the video release. What's going on?
Exciting.
So I thought, I mean, we've all kind of heard the branding story, but I thought this video we're about to, the branding teaser, as we're calling it. Sandy, maybe if you could give us, I think this video particularly captures the brand in terms of we are a family of communities. You'll look at the video and smile. We've had some internal debate about what should be in the footage or not. That's been some of the best discussion.
Never quit.
No, and finally I was like, look,
Never.
it's just gotta be what it's gonna be. Well, what if you do this? Or I don't want this. So so Sandy, maybe if you could tell us a little bit about how a family of communities was important to our brand. And then Jay, if you could kind of talk about how many scenes you shot. I mean, we had him everywhere.
Between a couple videos, I've been everywhere, man.
I know. So Sandy, if you could real quick, kind of just talk about a family of communities that you'll see in the video.
Sure. This concept of the community brand Richland, really encompasses who we are as a county, Richland County. We're growth-minded people, we're independent people, we're people that turn tenacity into triumph is one of the taglines. So, we're makers, dreamers, doers, and all of this is encompassed in your video and what's to come in the future. It shows who we are as a people. It's not just a thought, it's more of a feeling. It's who we are.
And the logo, whether it says Mansfield, Ontario, Belleville, it doesn't matter. It's all part of the family. If you lead with the Richland, it's a family of communities. So one pulls in the other. That was some of the genius of the brand story.
Right, absolutely. Because from Belleville all the way to Shelby, there's this connection piece, and family is a part of it too. I was just talking with my parents last night. They just moved from Colorado, and they're like, it is so unique here. There's a lot of things to do in Colorado, but there's not a connection. And that's that uniqueness that we have here. That's the family of communities, is that connection.
So Jay, talk to us about the footage. I know we had you everywhere.
Yep.
You said Shelby, we even had him up in Shiloh as
We've been
Oh.
everywhere. So we've been everywhere in the community, the communities, to represent us. So I always say that our duty to the community at DRM is to help scream louder. There are so many amazing things going on in this area and our communities that people, I'm surprised, have lived their whole lives here and not known about. So our job is to scream from the mountaintops that these things exist. And we've been to every single mountaintop. Between these couple videos we're working on, Bo over here has been just run ragged. Weekends, nights,
How's it going over there, Bo?
an 8 to 5.
Right now?
Right, it's not an 8 to 5 schedule
No.
going to these events. They are nights, they are weekends, they are Saturdays and Sundays, so it has been a long.
They're weather dependent and having to shift gears when Mother Nature
From the
didn't agree.
scheduling side, our scheduler at the office looks at the weather and just cries, and we live in Ohio and we're trying to shoot a lot of outdoor events. It's chaos. So for us, being able to tell the stories of all these communities and help build awareness that there are so many amazing things going on is a privilege for us. So it was exciting, it was chaotic, but it's always fun helping people scream louder that they're doing good things.
And this will precede, again, we'll do our Richland County, State of the County in February, but this might be a good time to segue into, this will precede the larger branding video. And without spilling the, as you said, would you say, I can't tell you, or you won't?
Sure.
Could you maybe for,
When you feel better with.
right, so maybe it's a good time to kind of talk about what that'll look like without
Mhm.
giving the plot away.
Back when the original marketing plan was put together, and that goes back a few years,
I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
but it's true. When we first read the brand story, and we publish it in the page on our visitor guide, and then the chamber's done it in
Yeah,
their guide
it's on
as well.
brandrichmond.com.
When you read it, it screams that it's a narration for a video. It tells a story. And that was the whole idea behind the brand anyway. So that's where the actual idea came from. Because it goes back to 2021. What this video is utilizing that script as the core script edited down for time. And we're building the video around it. So it does tell the story, and it moves. It's going to be all over the
Right.
place. It'll have narration. It'll have music behind it.
Mhm.
And
It's
all,
that,
it's crazy to be this many different places
Yeah.
and producing videos that are so uniquely different. That's what's exciting about it. There's so much going on in our community that we can produce multiple videos and they don't have overlap.
yeah, and this second video, again, it's more about what to do. It's that feeling who we are. So it really speaks to that. It speaks to us as a
Yeah.
community.
She's right. If you want to get an idea of who we are at our core, since it's built from the ground up with the brand story, that's what it's designed to do.
Whereas this one's about a minute long, which is the intent. It teases us as a family of communities. Next one will be what? 3 to 4 minutes long.
5, 6 minutes. Considering everything we got into it.
It's actual, the next one will have, right.
Emotional draw to the community. The next one will be the state of the county, which is more informational about where we stand. And then I would say the Brand Richland one is us telling our story.
Yeah.
And it still remains to be seen where we will release the Brand Richland video. That will be debate for later. So
It's going to be epic.
that's one favor, if we could, as my friends and the future mayor to be tell me I stink at social media. If you could maybe share social media, we're making efforts to be better at that. I'll share it on my pages. You wanted to put a hashtag, right? We were debating this yesterday too, right? We're gonna do hashtag a family of communities, right?
Hashtag Brand Richland.
Whatever you want to hashtag it, as long as it's a couple of those, if you could today, that would be great. You too, Carl.
I hashtag every day. I don't know what that means, but I think I do.
Yeah, because the chamber's going to share it where our social media specialist is queued up to share it. So we're
Yeah.
I'll share it at lunchtime.
ready.
And our IT is gonna put it on our website, so it'll be quick.
Yeah.
Cue her up.
narrated by Morgan Freeman since we're talking.
It's-
But